Welcome back to part 2 of episode number 232. Lots of twos. And speaking of twos, we got the twos are here at your way. Since we are in part 2, we are going to talk about the hot tags of the week. And if we run these down based off of rumors, news, stories, or interesting topics, actually quite a bit happened this week. And we're going to toss some things out there and give our opinions about whatever we need to say with these and run down a whole bunch of different things. I think I have like 11 things to talk about or something. So you're going to get quite a bit of hot tags this week. Let's start off with what I think is probably the biggest story and what we're going to get into a little bit later on too as well. Ryback was sent home and he's going to be kept off TV until they figure out what's going on with this contract dispute. Now, the reports are, of course, vague in certain ways, but from what I've been able to gather from different sources, different reports, you know, what Ryback blogged about, because he actually posted a blog about this, it seems like it's all, he's frustrated that WWE pays based off of the value that they assign to people, and knowing that it's something that's scripted, he's calling out, you know, it's kind of bullshit if wins and losses matter when they shouldn't matter. And somebody who does what they're told and they lose and whatever shouldn't be punished by any means just because they lose, because it's like they're not actually losing, they're just doing their job, performing and such. Cameron responded with a tweet saying, "Amen, brother," to this. Lots of reports saying that he's just going to be leaving in the summer. What do you think about this, Drew? Is Ryback in the right?
In a way, yes. Technically, it's all scripted. It's just it should be valued on how important the character is for, storytelling, what they have in plans for them, and merchandise sales, I guess. Was Mick Foley the one, like, a few months ago who was saying that wins and losses don't matter? Because
Well,
there was a legend who was saying something like that a few months ago.
pretty much everybody sort of uses that as one of their good, like, go-tos. It's like, because wins and losses aren't the same as they are in like UFC or something like that. But it's like, I get Ryback's point of the idea of, yeah, but how often are you going to lose to the point where people don't support you, they don't buy your merch, you know, like.
Yeah. There is some validity to what he's saying. And in a way, I guess it should matter if wins and losses don't matter, and it's just a matter how over your character is with the audience. I will say though that Ryback's the only one who's saying this right now. I guess Cameron kind of agreed with him in a way, but no one else has really came out denying or confirming these claims other than that, really. So I think it's unfortunately it might be a little bit too soon to report on this, just because we don't know how true what he's saying is. I've always a 100% believe everything Ryback said in the past, like with the CM Punk. I'm just saying with like the CM Punk thing. He was on a number of podcasts telling how like people have always said that he's a safe worker and all of that stuff. So I've always had, and being the biggest Ryback fan in the world, I always back up the big man when I can, because I'm like the little guy, he's the big guy. So come on, we have to be brothers in this situation.
Little guy backing up the Ryback, big guy.
Exactly. So I don't know. It's just a weird situation. And it's not every day that they keep someone off TV because they can't agree with the contract. Usually they'll get as much as they can out of someone. My bad. They might get as much as they can out of someone, and then just have him off, and then just resign, have him resign and move on. So I think it's a little weird that unless he just has his attitude is so terrible that him being around everyone is just detrimental, then maybe there is no point of having him there until they have this situation figured out.
I'm assuming he's speaking up for a lot of different people that are too worried to lose their job.
Ryback has also said that if he were to leave WWE, that's fine. That he has a lot of other passions, a lot of other things. So in a way, I'm, good for him for sticking up for himself and talking about it. Because in the past, actually, I think a few weeks ago, I don't know if we were talking about this on the podcast, but Ryback has always been the guy that maybe he has never really stood up for himself in the past, because this guy should have been a world champion. This guy had dollar signs all over his face. He was the most over person at one point in 2012.
He definitely was. That whole Feed Me More where he's fighting 3 people at a time and stuff, like, he was over as fuck right
Yes.
then.
WWE fucked that up. So he has every right to be pissed off, if in my opinion. But I really don't know what to take of the whole situation until, if Ryback leaves the company, then he finally lets out all of his dirty laundry. But, if this is him finally sticking up for himself, because maybe he's a guy who's never really stood up for himself and said everything he needed to say in the past, and, good for him. But, might be a little too late at this point.
And I'm curious if this was a thing where he said, you might as well just keep me off TV if you're not going to use me for anything. And then they said, fine. Or if he called out this whole thing and they sent him home. Because there's 2 different, it's kind of like the idea of, you can't fire me, I quit. Like, it depends on who's the instigator in that. Because Ryback did show up for the whole pre-show match with the pre-show stopper thing, and he cut that interview the other day where he was saying, maybe I'll have to find somewhere else to get, my due credit and all that. So clearly these issues have been going on for at least a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious. He's on the pre-show of WrestleMania for the United States title, which is a secondary title. That should be on the main card just by itself. And if you had to leave a title off, you would have left the tag team titles, but they had their whole situation, and that wasn't for the tag team titles. So I really don't know why they have been treating Ryback so bad lately. But fuck it. At this point, I feel bad for him. He was not on Raw between WrestleMania and Payback. So this had been something that's been building up ever since WrestleMania.
Yeah, the missing in action couple of weeks is another thing that's just very suspicious. Like, if this is, I know some people are going, oh, this is just BS, it's going to lead to him getting a big push or whatever like that. This ain't a work, I don't think.
No, this is definitely not a work. No one is this open about this unless they're on their way out of the company. I mean, this isn't CM Punk we're talking about here. I don't think Ryback has that much leeway like Punk did back in 2011.
Right.
So I feel bad for him. I really do, because I love the big guy. He's one of my favorites, and if he's gone, it's a damn shame. But WWE fucked that up so bad. So I really can't defend them in this instance.
It'll be very interesting to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. But right now, it's looking like Ryback's probably going to be leaving soon. And from what I can gather, I'm on his side. So, yeah. What else we have here? Shane McMahon Tell All podcast is going to be coming up next week, hosted by Mick Foley. The reason why it's not Austin is because he's got other shit to do. But we got a podcast hosted by Foley about Shane McMahon. What do you think about this? I'm up for it.
Yeah, I'm down for it. Mick Foley is having a series of podcasts on the network now, right? Is that one of the things he's doing, or is it just a reality show? Right?
I think it's just the Holy Foley show.
I thought that he was doing other stuff as well. But you know what? I have no problem with this. I think Mick Foley's an interesting guy, and Shane is definitely not boring by any means. But maybe this will be a way to let us know what he's been up to for the past few years while he's been out of the company. Maybe he'll go into some of the stuff that he's been working on since the last time he was on WWE TV.
I hope Foley kind of stays the same range as Austin of like, let's ask some tough questions and not do the safe route.
So don't be Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because fuck Jericho's podcast on the network. Though I will say the John Cena one's not too bad when it was just him and John Cena. But the Stephanie McMahon one, I couldn't get through. It was just...
I wasn't a big fan of that one either.
Nah.
Then again, I wasn't a big fan of Austin's with Paige.
Well, I don't know why. Why did they do Paige?
I think that's because they were going to do Hogan.
And
then it was like, fuck, we can't do Hogan.
They should have just done it with The Miz then, since he took Hogan's spot on Tough Enough.
Hell, that probably would have been a better one.
It would have.
Would have been more entertaining at the very least. Paige was just kind of like, my family. Yeah, my family. Miz would have been
This is my podcast.
Yeah. What else? Yeah. Did you check out Camp WWE yet?
No. Did you?
I watched it after Payback, and
Hold on, Tony. Did you not do the post show?
no, that's
Oh,
actually just a hologram of me doing it.
oh, okay. That's cool. I
It was a good
guess
hologram though.
it was.
Yeah, it didn't hit as much as I was hoping that it would, but I wrote
Was
up
it
a
as
review about it on eWrestling News if people want to get a real in-depth kind of look about it. But
I do have a couple questions though, Tony.
shoot,
Is it as cringeworthy as I might think it is?
it's nowhere near as bad as Slam City.
Dude, I actually didn't care for Slam City that much.
I hated it.
I know, but I know you did, but it wasn't even that bad. There was a couple good things on Slam City that I mildly enjoyed, but I don't know, just for the idea of an adult. Do they? So how adult is it? Do they cuss and stuff on it? I'm assuming.
Yeah, they curse, and there's a lot of like sexual content. Like, I mean, you've already seen the Ric Flair humping the Rock, not the Rock, but a Rock.
No. It was The Rock dressed up as a rock.
Yeah, it might have been. That's a plot twist. Spoiler alert. But yeah, like they curse and they've got sex jokes and stuff like that, and so they nail the TVMA thing, which was a little bit surprising, but it's a little like just not my thing, kind of.
hmm
Like if you like Adult Swim, you'll probably really love it.
If I like Robot Chicken, will I like it?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Well,
Like I like a lot of Robot Chicken things if they're based off of something that they're making fun of that I like. And if it's just something weird, I tend not to like it as much. So that's why I'm kind of like I want to give this more episodes more than anything.
I kind of went the same route with the Edge and Christian show because I remember
Yeah,
that first episode was really not that good, but it's
that was
picked up.
terrible.
Yeah, it's picked up a lot since then. So I'll probably end up checking out Camp WWE tonight or tomorrow, and maybe I'll actually have an opinion on it then. But I really plan on just avoiding it at first, just because I thought WWE would screw it up, just because it's WWE in a PG environment, so they would use their idea of
Yeah,
MA now.
TVMA, by which I mean we can say bitch.
I thought it would be since Vince McMahon's in it. I thought it would just be a bunch of poop-based jokes.
Now
And
he's actually my favorite part.
really,
Yeah, my favorite joke of the whole thing, and this is not like a huge spoiler or anything like that. It's a fucking animated show. Who cares? At very beginning of the episode, like first scene or so, he's kind of upset about something, and he's like, "I'm gonna put on something to like block it out, like how you would put on like calming music." One
yeah.
of the things he puts on is the Hindenburg disaster. So it's just all these people screaming and stuff, and he's just like getting all calm for that. I'm like, that's pretty fucking funny. But I don't like the voice acting for a lot of people. Like, it would have been better if the actual people would have done it. Like Vince, you can tell it's Vince,
Yeah.
and you can tell he's having fun. And Ric Flair, same kind of thing. Sergeant Slaughter, same thing. But the little kid voice for John Cena is weird. The Big Show one's kind of funny because it's like this big oaf kind of thing.
It's a damn shame that they couldn't get John Cena to do this show.
Yeah, like if they could have just had his voice and they could have modulated it to make him sound younger, like they do with South Park, that would have been so good. Like the Bella Twins are like, they're just generic voices. Stephanie's a generic voice and all that. And R-Truth, like the voice actor for R-Truth sounds really familiar, but I can't place him. That's a little like lame. The Triple H one's kind of funny though, because he ends a lot of sentences with So it's like, like our next story is gonna be about Tamina Snuka.
That sounds amazing.
So that's really cool. But I suggest everybody they go ahead and they check it out, but they keep in mind pilot episodes are always the worst. Like it might take a couple episodes for it to get into it, but Undertaker being like this weird creepy emo kid goth kind of thing, like there's some potential. Stone Cold, I don't like Stone Cold yet on the show. We'll see. They haven't introduced The Rock yet. They haven't introduced I think that Hogan was supposed to be on one, but they probably took him out.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Anybody who has the network, check it out. See what it is. Leave a comment below. Tell us what you think about that, too.
I have one thing to ask. If Hogan never got in trouble for the whole, him being racist and said that racist stuff, and that got him out of the company this time, Do you think they would have made references to his sex tape on this?
Oh, probably. I mean, they would have had to at some point, right?
Yeah.
They
Uh,
might still do it.
oh, we'll probably sue him at that point, but I think.
Well, I don't think he would sue WWE because he wants his job back so bad. He'd
Oh,
probably be like, "That's a good one, guys."
oh, brother, you guys get me so good.
Yeah, you got me, brother. Let's see. Tamina, that's what one of the ones was. Tamina is injured. She just went under surgery for a torn ligament, so she's gonna be out for a little bit. Another injury.
Hmm. It's weird. I'm assuming it was at a house show because she definitely hasn't done anything on TV recently. But
Yeah.
I kind of feel. I mean, usually yeah, we shit on Tamina a lot for a lot of reasons, but it sucks when you hear about someone getting injured because in some instances it could lead to them losing their job, though. And since especially with the last name Snuka, she doesn't have a lot in her advantage right now. Since
Yeah.
her father, is it her father?
Yeah.
Okay, is kind of in deep shit, but yeah, hopefully maybe John Cena will pass some luck onto her and she'll recover in like weeks or something stupid like that.
Might actually be the best thing for her to just kind of take a little bit of time off because they weren't doing anything with her. So, get a little bit of break, stay out of the, like,
Was she
sort of, the tornado of Natalia being able to beat people.
was she always this big and menacing?
Tamina?
Yeah, because I remember back in 2012 when she was feuding with Beth Phoenix for the title. I'd never recalled her being like this monster thing they have for her now. So, did she just gain muscle since then? Because Beth Phoenix was a pretty ripped person. So has she always been this big?
She's only been at least kind of big, but
She's been tall. I know
yeah,
that, but I honestly, because she was always doing the high flying stuff, so maybe I'm just remembering her being
maybe.
skinny. But fuck, that was just something that was bothering me now for some reason.
Tamina. We have a bomb threat at Ring of Honor headquarters. Yeah.
Why, dude?
I know people are fucking crazy.
What? Who? The only thing that this would be better is if it was TNA. Just
Well, nobody can find their headquarters. It moves all the time.
I know, but just the idea of someone sending a bomb threat to TNA, they would like start going crazy. They'll accidentally set a fire in their merchandise office and burn down their headquarters. That would be funny. But who cares about Ring of Honor? No one's cared about them since like 2012. So what have they been doing recently that pissed someone off this bad?
Probably just like you didn't push the guy that I wanted you to push. I'll fucking take it out on you guys because I really like whatever Briscoe or something.
Well, at least it wasn't some guy smearing shit all over their headquarters like that guy did.
That was funnier.
Yeah, that was funny. Weird shit, but it was funny.
Weird shit.
Uh,
They have Tessa Blanchard and Rachael Ellering, the daughters of Tully Blanchard and Paul Ellering, are now in NXT. They haven't signed a deal yet, but they're popping up a little bit. Could be making that transition sort of like what Peyton Royce and Billy Kay did, where you wrestle a couple times and then you eventually get that contract just sort of out of the blue. Do you check out anything with those two?
nope, I didn't even know that those were actual people. So if you give me a second, I will totally Google search their names. Oh, she's not bad looking.
Who, Tessa?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tessa's actually pretty damn hot.
And let's check out Rachael.
Rachael's not bad either.
Huh.
I don't know about Rachael in the ring. I haven't had a chance to look at her match yet, but
Oh damn, Tessa's my age.
really?
Yeah, she's actually only a few months older than me.
Huh.
Weird. Yeah.
So that's nothing negative against her right there. That's in her favor. The younger you are, the more chances are that you'll get a contract in the future.
Yeah, but it's female. I think the standard for guys is you have to at least be 30. Because everyone's like 30 years old now going into the company. But
yeah, Tessa, she's got a good look to her. She's good in the ring. She had a match against, I think, Alexa Bliss on NXT recently. So, of course, I was looking at Alexa Bliss, but at the same time, Tessa did pretty well. Like I'm pretty sure she'll get a contract. I haven't checked out Rachael yet, so.
This picture, the first picture that shows up for Tessa, she has the what would it be? The Summer Rae like top on, where she has like that open area where her breasts are, where she has her bra on underneath it.
The Power Girl design, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the one thing I noticed. Like, oh, so she's going with the Summer Rae look on this one. Cool. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, I'll have to check them out. Were they wrestling on NXT TV, or was it just...
Yeah, the TV show.
Okay.
Oh, they've probably done some of the other stuff too, but...
I'm assuming that, but okay. Well, I guess I'll go check them out later. Probably.
The more people that we get rid of and move up to the main roster, the more we're going to need to add some more people into the mix, so why not? And one of those other new people, Eric Young, he made his debut, had a match against Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
So they're going with babyface Eric Young as like a potential title contender, which...
I honestly, I never watched much TNA, but I never thought Eric Young was too bad.
I was never the biggest fan.
Did he ever end up winning the TNA title?
I think he did. I think he won it like right around the time that Daniel Bryan won. Because it was like, oh, the bearded underdog guy.
Oh, so they were just copying what WWE did. Okay. Yeah, now I remember. However, he is a 3-time TNA Legends Global Television King of the Mountain champion, and I'm really happy that they named all of them as one. So, fuck TNA. But, I mean, there's way worse they could have done. There's people out there who really, really suck at wrestling. So, it's weird that he was one of the longest tenured guys in TNA. He's been there for like 11 years, I feel like. So, you know, he might do better in WWE. You never know. So I'll give him a shot.
Yeah, obviously wish him the best no matter what, because if he sucks and he's on TV, then that sucks for us. But if he's good, then that's good. But WWE has released 2 different people, Rich Brennan and Kyle Edwards, 2 of the broadcasters. Brennan was a part of NXT for a little bit there, kind of ended up moving on to SmackDown, but they replaced him with Mauro Ranallo. Kyle Edwards was doing the 5 things, and he was doing some up, down, down stuff. No clue why either of them got released, but it sort of seems like Mauro Ranallo came in and was just, they were just like, nah.
Nah, bruh.
Tom Phillips has been doing quite a bit too lately.
It's weird. I didn't really care for Rich too much. He was just, generic white commentator. But Kyle, I thought, when he was doing 5 things, I thought that was interesting. So a little surprised there. But, if you're not going to do much in the company and you're collecting a paycheck, then that gives them a reason to release you. So hopefully they find work. I bet Rich will end up working in TNA. And Kyle, I mean, that's usually how it works. They just get all of WWE's old commentators. So that would probably how it works.
Kyle, I could see moving on to like Sports Center kind of thing.
Really? I can't even picture what Kyle looks like.
Rich Brennan.
I know Rich.
I don't know about Rich.
What do you mean?
And of course, it sort of depends on if these two have any other outside interests and stuff. Like Todd Grisham went to ESPN to do something, I think, with like soccer and stuff, right?
He went to Sports Center. He was like one of the main people they had for that show. I feel like he's still there. I'm actually surprised they haven't done more with him and the because they do coach doing all the WWE stuff on there. But I'm surprised they haven't done much with Todd yet.
Maybe he just doesn't want to.
I don't fucking blame him, but he was never much of a WWE guy anyways. So
nah. He seemed like he was there for a paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. So I always liked Todd. I know you weren't a big fan of him, but I liked his voice. He wasn't too bad, I believe. But I think he does MMA stuff on there at ESPN now, and then he also does Sports Center. So I think the MMA part, Wago likes them, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Both of these 2 guys I liked enough that I would have kept them, but we'll see where they end up going. Hopefully it's all the best.
Well, see, to be fair, we would be fine if, like, Jerry the King wasn't on commentary anymore, and JBL, and a lot of other people, so.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I like JBL. And Lawler's been better now that he's a little bit more of a heel.
And he's on SmackDown, and he's not in my face all the time.
Yeah, I think just going,
Yeah, I honestly don't like JBL much anymore.
Really?
when he does the heel thing and he's like, "Oh man, why is he doing that? That's so unfair." And then the heel thing guy does the same thing and then he praises him for it. I I get it when because he's a heel, but even when it was Jerry the King Lawler as a heel, he didn't do it that bad. I really cannot stand heel JBL anymore. And mainly I think it's because Michael Cole just because he's has to be the good guy commentator now. He doesn't really bounce off it well, and half the time he's kind of like agreeing with him. And then you're stuck with Byron Saxon be trying to like take on both of them, which will never work out in his favor.
Well, the best thing that JBL does is pick on Byron.
Yeah, that he does well. But other than that, I really would be fine if JBL wasn't on commentary much anymore. Just because he doesn't bring much to the table. All he does is complain that the heel is not getting the one up. And then every once in a while he'll make some old joke that I won't understand because he's old as dirt.
Speaking of that, Ric Flair has terminated his contract with the Woo Nation podcast. He's not going to be doing that anymore.
I never listened to it.
No, I never listened to a single episode. You know, he's doing his own thing with Charlotte now, and
yeah.
I wasn't that intrigued with a podcast for him anyway. Like, Flair is better to me in spurts. I'm kind of sick of him now, you know?
Listen, when you're out on the road and when you're getting drunk in airports causing a scene, it's really hard to do a podcast. So,
that's true.
I understand where he might want to slow down with that.
We have a new reality TV show that's being shopped around for Paul Heyman and his Looking for Larry marketing agency. There's a show I'm not going to watch.
Is that for the network?
No, it's just like a normal TV show.
Okay.
So like no matter what, there is no TV show I'm going to watch about like the crazy shit that happens with our marketing agency. Like, oh God, I don't care, you know? Paul Heyman's interesting and stuff, but the other people, I can't imagine being cool.
I would imagine that this would be a sleeper hit.
Really?
Yeah, because it sounds something that's so stupid that it might work. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up going well. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just the complete and utter dog shit. So I doubt it'll ever happen, but if it ever does, I'll definitely check it out just to go lol. Okay, I was wrong.
We have a very serious story when it comes to Dolph Ziggler's younger brother, who is on the run for aggravated murder.
On the road again.
So don't be too shocked if Ziggler is like a little off recently. Maybe he doesn't wrestle as much. Maybe he's dealing with something like that. But that sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
There's not much you can really do in that situation. But I feel bad for Dolph. I feel bad for anyone who has like those terrible siblings that just makes them look bad.
Yeah.
Or just like could be, or in most cases, everyone has that one family member who it's like, yeah, I wouldn't be too upset if you were never to show up again because you're just a shit person. I'm not going to say that Dolph Ziggler's brother is a bad guy, but when you kind of murder someone, you're not in a good area. You're not in good shape. So, I feel bad for Dolph. I wouldn't be surprised if they have him on TV less because of it. But,
right.
Was he in the 20-man match for the number one contendership for the battle for the U.S. title?
Yep, he got eliminated by Baron Corbin, I think.
Okay,
or he eliminated Baron Corbin, and Baron Corbin took him out, or something.
So I'm assuming those two are. That's kind of funny because Baron Corbin's like this lone wolf biker gang kind of look, and I'm assuming Dolph Ziggler's brother's like on a motorcycle running away. He's like
just because he's wanted and on the run.
Yes,
he instantly becomes a biker.
Yes, like he's in like this old Western saloon hiding for the cops. He's in the corner. He's like, and he has his like cowboy hat on, spitting in his just big old spittoon. He's just like, "You'll never catch me, officer." Just pulls out his gun, twirls it, shoots him, gets on his motorcycle, grabs some babe, and is on the run again.
And just to be clarification here, the brother is not the one that was a part of NXT for a little bit. Totally different guy.
Dolph Ziggler had a brother who was a part of NXT?
Yeah, Ryan Nemeth. This is a different brother. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I didn't write that down.
Not
But
Ryan Nemeth. This is
so it's not Ryan. We have a couple more things here. Where did I lose track of where it was? Oh, WWE edited a sign that they had at Payback when they were putting something up on their Twitter or whatever it was. They took the sign that was in the crowd that says, "When it rains, it bores," and they got rid of the "it bores." They actually edited that out where it just says, "When it rains."
dot
They
dot
photoshopped
dot.
it,
That's awesome.
which is like, don't be a dick. Come on. So the person brought an anti-Roman Reigns sign to the crowd. Don't edit it, you know?
I know it's kind of stupid, but at the same time, I kind of think it's funny. So
I could see editing it out if it was something offensive.
yeah, if it was like Chris Benoit should be in the WWE Hall of Fame and he didn't kill
Right.
his family, then
Or like if they're trying to use that picture for promotional purposes and it says like, you know, something like a curse is on it, or like, you know, it's a picture of like an asshole or something. Something that would be like, all right, we have to blur this out or whatever. But when it's just anti-Roman Reigns, come on.
and this is good. I don't know how widely reported this is, but I'm assuming this just sparks more like, oh man, WWE's trying to shove Roman Reigns down our throat. Fuck him.
Right, yeah, it's like proving them right.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't help the cause at all for that. So now that I think about it, they definitely should have done this. This was
Yeah.
probably the worst thing they could have done in this situation.
They probably thought nobody would notice, but these WWE fans, they're too into it. They're gonna notice. I wouldn't have fucking noticed, but somebody
I didn't
did.
notice the sign, so
Yeah, I was paying attention to the sign to begin with, but I do like the sign idea though. When it rains, it bores. That's a good pun.
it's a good pun. Yeah, kudos to them.
Yeah, you got a golf clap, guy, whoever you are. Yeah, two more hot tags here. Adam Rose's suspension has been clarified. He had a doctor's note that says he was trying to treat ADHD symptoms with Adderall, and that's why he got suspended. So that makes it a little bit easier to get on his side for this, that maybe he shouldn't just be fired. Maybe he should be brought back.
I don't think he's gonna be fired for this, but at the same time, really, it had to be ADHD. That's like the one thing. Maybe this is why he can't wrestle, just because it gets to him too much. So they have to get rid of the suspension now. There's no fucking way. If they don't allow him to wrestle and the suspension holds and he leaves the company, I feel like this could be a lawsuit in some way. So
Kind of seems like it could be, right? Because it's not something like an illegal steroid or whatever.
No.
It's Adderall. Like,
yeah, no, is this something to help people No, I know people who in high school who abused Adderall and they failed drug tests and then they didn't have an actual doctor's note for it, so they got in trouble. But in this
Right.
instance, if he has the doctor's note, that kind of like puts him like, oh, okay, I guess you're not too bad, Adam Rose. So yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting a roll-up win on someone this Monday on Raw to make it up for him. Though
only a roll up, though, right?
yeah, only roll up. They're not going to actually give him like anything important, but it'll be against Zack Ryder probably. So I wouldn't be too upset if that was the case.
Well, if he's going to beat anybody, one person he could beat is Darren Young.
Oh, we're talking about that now.
Yeah, it's our last hot tag of the week. Darren Young, spoilers for SmackDown, is going to be repackaged with Bob Backlund as his manager. What?
From what I gathered, it's a kind of supposed to be something to deal with, like, since the presidential election is coming up. Bob Backlund has always been that, that kind of politician type of guy. So I'm assuming it's something to do with that. And what a weird fucking pairing. The only way this could work out if in some way they mock Donald Trump and everyone in the actual election.
Well, they are doing the Donald Trump thing because it's make Darren great again.
Oh, at least
the whole make America great again thing.
Yeah, I'm glad that they realize he sucks now. It's not that he
Took him
was
a couple years.
No, he was never great at one point. They're even
No.
just like, yeah, let's make. They should take the again part out of it. He was
Make
never
Darren
great in the first place. Exactly.
Or like make Darren passable again.
I guess back in 2012 he was passable, but what is there no one else that they could have done this with to make it somewhat interesting and maybe in some way it could work?
If you're
Well,
looking for somebody that needs another boost to be great again, because they used to be great, it's fucking Damian Sandow.
yeah. Ah, fuck, that was such a good one. I mean, shit, they could have done this with Titus O'Neil. At least with that, Titus is actually a likable guy in some ways. So I think it would be funny if Titus does like his weird catchphrases and Bob's like, dude, what the fuck are you saying?
I still love the old, if you're gonna win, make it a win. I probably would have done worse.
Yeah, but was the last time Bob Backlund on TV when they were doing the
Hall
he
of
thought
Fame induction, maybe?
I don't even know if it was a Hall of Fame induction. I remember one night after Vicky got fired, they did like a WWE poll to see who the GM for the night was going to be, and he was one of the options. And it was between Bob Backlund, Booker T, and I think Mick Foley. Mick Foley won, but Mick Foley had like 80% of the vote. Booker T had like 12, like
Booker
18%.
T.
He had
Oh my
18.
god, it's Booker T.
He had 18% of the vote. Bob Backlund had like 2 or 3% of the votes.
Yeah, well, it's Bob Backlund. I mean, he was old when I was little.
Yeah, I imagine so, but that's just so fucking weird.
I'm
Why?
curious if this is something that, like, every week he's going to talk to a different legend, or if it's just Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
If it's just Bob Backlund, that's going to be even more amazing.
I wonder how many conversations a gay wrestler and Bob Backlund could have before Bob Backlund says something racist or sexist or just
Yeah, a gay black wrestler who is younger than him, so there's the generation gap as well. It's just like, we have nothing in common, dude.
this could be great actually. So they should totally stick with this and just have Bob Backlund keep on saying racist stuff to him. And
Do you
he's
know
like,
if
dude, what the
Backlund...
fuck?
Do you know if Backlund's, like, a Republican and if Darren Young's a Democrat or something like that, too?
Dude, Bob Backlund's 100% a Republican. There's no way he's not.
It's gotta be, like, you just do all those kind of things. Like, they can talk backstage and be like, I'm pro-choice and I'm anti-choice.
Well, I'm
Or
for
pro-life
gay
is what they
marriage.
call it.
He's like, Darren's like, I'm for gay marriage, and Bob's like, I don't believe in that. And then it gets really awkward, and they kind of like fade away from that.
Yeah, that's just the end of the segment. Very curious to see what happens with that. Curious to see what you guys have to say as well about these hot tags. So leave those comments below. Tell us what you think about all these different subjects. We had a lot that we went down, so if you need a refresher of what they are, go ahead and check out the YouTube description. We are going to take a break with the rest hold, and I'm going to give you some more information about some different things in there, as well as, of course, the Smark My Words comment of the week, the Did You Know parody, and so on. And after that, we're going to come back, talk about Superstar Scores, Ryback.